Hello and welcome to James Does Some Bug Reporting. I was encountering so many issues that I figured it would be easier to show some of these in just a compiled video. So first off, let me address one of the most egregious things I've discovered and the most annoying kind of accessibility issue, which is the scroll wheel. Now normally we have this wonderful little scroll wheel. It's got the little line here and you can grab anywhere on the line and you can scroll your game, right? If you go to dark mode though, the scroll wheel is different. Can't click here, can't click here. You have to click exactly on this tiny little dot to zoom out and in unless you click on the buttons. But you can't get the preciseness if you're doing the buttons. This becomes an issue when you've got people who are visually or motor impaired, because it's just a tiny little button. I'm not clicking it, clicking it. I'm trying to click it, not clicking it, not clicking it, clicking it. Another issue I discovered, which I actually discovered while working on my forum post, is that the bullet point menu has been changed. So say I have this right here, right? My wonderful little bullet point, and I want to add another bullet point, but I want to tab it over. Well, if I click the tab button, it just adds more spaces. The way you need to create a new option is by going to make your new button right here, go under paragraph and click tab over. They also have a shortcut, right? But they kind of word it really bad. It's a little confusing because it says control plus the square bracket, right? Which my first thought, and probably other people's first thought, is okay, you need to click control plus key and bracket. No, that just zooms everything to hell. Let me unzoom all this. What you really need to click is just control bracket. Not the most egregious thing, but not very good for accessibility or readability here. In dark mode, a lot of the buttons are shifted and changed to be much smaller, which is not very good for accessibility. So if I click on dark mode here, you'll see all these buttons kind of get squished together, and actually some of them become a little taller, I think? At least for the macros down here, they become taller. Narrower, but taller, which is a little bit weird. But these all become much more squished together and much more narrow, which gives you a lot less room to mess up. And that's just over here. Over here, you'll find under the journal tag that this becomes smaller for some reason. It becomes smaller and narrower, as well as the character sheets, if you'll notice, are moved down slightly. A lot of the elements are moved down. I have an image that I'm going to attach to my forum post, which shows that indeed these move. It's not just a trick of the eyes. No, these all move down. Another kind of funny bug that I've discovered is that if you rapidly click and unclick the dark mode button, it'll move the chat up in the light mode. If you scroll, and when you click on dark mode again, it brings you back down. Now, if you are in light mode and you're still up here and you scroll up a little bit, when you click dark mode, it'll move down the exact amount that it needed before to get to the bottom, but it won't be at the bottom. It'll just be that much further down from where you were. Like, I'm over here on just above this Roll20, right? Click on dark mode. There's the one. It's a little bit towards the top now. That's fun. That's a funny one. I don't know how it does that, but it sure does. Another accessibility issue that I've discovered is that for abilities, when you're using macros or things like that, like if I just make a weapon here, test, right? And I roll it. I don't even use the fancy macros or anything. I'm just using what I have as base. It's a yellow background with black text. Pretty easy to read, right? If you switch to dark mode though, it's yellow with a light gray against it. If you have a visual impairment or you're just very far away from your screen or you have a bad screen, that is near unreadable, if not unreadable. while we're here, because I just realized after finishing recording that last one, I finally had the bug that my friends had, where if you look down here in my macros bar, this is still purple, even though I'm in light mode again. I switched to dark mode, it's purple. Switch light mode, it's still purple. So sometimes it'll get stuck like that. I'm not exactly sure how it gets unstuck and restuck, because sometimes it doesn't do this, and sometimes it does. I'm not entirely sure why, it just does. Apparently, the macro bar color can also get stuck in dark mode as well, stuck in the light mode, as seen down here. I just discovered this while going back over my recordings. It just does that sometimes. I didn't do anything other than refresh my Roll20 so that I could get it back to the light mode version over here. And then when I tabbed it over, I just realized, oh yeah, it's stuck in the light mode now too.